Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be unboxing a couple orders as well as creating some trees for the farm over there. And so the first order has arrived. The second one is also supposed to arrive today. So I'm going to get this one started. We can unbox this one and then we can unbox the other one and also start building some trees. So I'm going to go grab a knife, open this up, and I'll show you guys what's inside. All right, so this first order is from Lego. I placed 2 orders during the double points that was happening a week or 2 ago, and this is the second of those 2. This has also the gift with purchase that came during that promotion, and it's pretty cool. It's I don't know. I don't really have a use for it, so I'll probably just end up keeping it sealed, but I have 2 of these now. So that is pretty cool to see, and so maybe I'll part one out and use all the fern pieces because I can't seem to get enough of those, and you'll see those in just a second here. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's a nice promo, but overall, I guess it doesn't really matter. But up next here is the 16 by 16 art panels. Now, I bought 16 by 16 plates before, but I've never bought these before. These are really, really interesting, and I will explain what I'm going to use these for in just a minute here, but I bought this color because it was significantly cheaper than black, so I figured that was a good way to save money and to also try these out. So we're going to try these out, see what these are good for, and hopefully we can come up with something pretty cool. And then the last portion of the box here, besides the filler, I guess, is the actual pieces themselves, and so it's in one big bag here, as you can see, and pretty much they did not sort it. So it's all in here, and so I have to go in and I have to dump it out and sort it, which you are about to see right now. All right, so here I am dumping the whole thing out here, and like you saw, there's a couple masonry bricks in here, there's train wheels, there's window frames, there's a few other odds and ends as well, and these are for various projects around the studio here. And so I'm pretty excited. So without me talking too much, I'm just going to get right into sorting all this because it's going to take me a while. And then if the next order shows up by the time I'm done, then we'll unbox this second order. And if not, we will go ahead and just start making those trees. And then whenever that order comes in, we can unbox it and I'll show you guys what's in that one. All right, so that second order hasn't come in yet, so I figured I'd start making those trees, and this is the start of a trunk, kind of with the roots coming down. This was kind of just a test example to see kind of what I was thinking, and I think this looks okay, but I ended up going with something a little bit more complicated than that, and that's what you're looking at right now. This tree is looking really, really good in my opinion. I really like it. It uses so many leaves. It uses way more than I had planned on using today. But I think this looks really, really good. And I'm very happy with this. And the trunk is made of barrels and also 2x2 round bricks. And also there's a few other different types of pieces in there to help get that angle. I'm really happy with it. And then the roots down at the bottom here are a little bit more complicated, like I said. And some of them aren't actually attached to the trunk, which I don't love. But I think it looks good, especially when you take a step back and you look at it from a distance. And so taking a look at the underside of the tree here, you'll kind of see how it's made. You'll see some of the barrels in there, and you'll see some of those 2x2 round plates with the 4 bars sticking out on each side. And you'll see a lot of different brown small pieces that are connecting to it. And this is more of a eye level angle of it, I guess, and I'm kind of just spinning it around to show you guys what it's looking like. And again, I'm really, really happy with this. I think it's turning out really nicely, and I even went ahead and I added a little acorn in here. I actually added 2, I think, and so I think it looks good. I'm really happy with this, and overall, I think this tree is turning out really nice. There's a bunch of technique going through it as well, so it's really, really sturdy. All right, so I didn't want this tree to be overly large, so I tried to keep it as big and also as small as I could. And here is a random minifigure for scale here, just to kind of show you guys what exactly I mean by that. I wanted it to be taller than a minifigure, obviously, and I wanted it to have enough space under the branches so that minifigures could walk underneath. But I didn't want it to be overly tall. I didn't want it to dwarf the modular buildings. I didn't want it to dwarf the mountain or anything like that. And so that's my reasoning for making it this size. And then these roots down here, I actually went ahead and that one piece that I had used for the branches, I used down here for the roots as well. I turned it upside down and I went ahead and I just connected a whole bunch of random stuff to it. And I think it looks really good. There's a lot of really interesting part usage down here. And so I'm extremely happy with how this is turning out. All right, so that was the first tree that I had made. I am pretty happy with it, but I wanted to get another one, so I made a second one, and this one is even bigger than the first one. This one has even more leaves on it. It's actually even taller as well, and so I am extremely happy with the both of these. There is a lot going on here. A lot of it is the same as that first tree, but this tree has a lot more roots at the bottom and it has a lot more leaves and branches up at the top as well. And so I'm really happy with this. And so now we can go ahead and also get a little bit more of a deep dive into each of these as well. All right, so like I said, this tree is pretty similar to that first one. It uses the same barrels and the same cylinders and the same rounded plates with the bars on them. It uses that for the trunk, and it uses the same branch system with the clips and the bars and the studs with the bar on the side. And there's a lot of different stuff going on here, but the roots especially look really good. And there's a lot of different details in here, like the grass stem pieces and other things like that as well. And some of these things aren't even attached, like you're seeing right now with this kind of tail piece right here that's not attached, and there's one other piece that's not attached as well. But again, I'm really happy with this. I think it adds a lot of nice detail, and I like this one even more because you can't actually see through that bottom of the trunk. You can kind of see through when the light hits it right of the first one, but I'm happy with this. The back half of this is pretty flat, but I do plan on putting this up against the curved wall that is in the farm, so that's why this is pretty flat, but I think it looks good regardless, and I guess we will see once it's actually in the city, which we will be placing these in the city today, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video and also to subscribe and also click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads, because there's really, really cool stuff coming that you're not going to want to miss out on. So that is this tree pretty much taken care of here. Like I said, Technic going up through the middle, and then all these different pieces making up the branches as well. All right, so now I want to actually show you guys these trees a little bit from a distance, and so I'm putting that minifigure back in the middle here just to kind of show you guys what it would look like, and I'm trying to give you guys a couple of farther away angles just so you can kind of get a realistic glimpse of what it's actually going to look like once it's in the city, because obviously you're not going to be looking at it eye level, and you're not going to be looking at it 6 inches away from your face. You're going to be looking at it maybe 2-3 feet away, and you're going to be looking at it more of a top-down angle. And so that's what I'm kind of trying to show you guys right now. And I think they look even better when you're looking at them from the top as opposed to head on. And so I think they're great, to be honest with you. And I think the dark green leaves underneath the regular green really adds a nice touch as well, and it helps add that depth. Like there's a bunch of shadows, and the dark green leaves are kind of in the shadows, and they're all supposed to be the same color, but the shadows are just casting light differently, and I think that's really cool. And you'll also note I don't know if you saw it earlier, but the dark brown barrels and plates used in the trunk as well, especially right in that hinge. And so that is a really subtle detail as well that I think is really, really helping add to the overall model. All right, so this last tree is nowhere near as glamorous as the first two, nor is it anywhere close to being as complicated, but this is a spruce tree, and I wanted to make one of these because I have a bunch of these fern elements, and I've seen a few people make this online before, but I've never seen anyone make instructions for it, so I figured I would go ahead and just make it, and it's actually pretty simple. It's just 2x2 circular bricks, and then those same 2x2 plates that are rounded and have the bars on each side. Those are used upside down as well, and then the ferns are attached to that. And then it kind of gets smaller as it goes up, and then eventually it turns into a 1x1 stack instead of 2x2. And then I don't have a dark green cone or anything like that for the top, unfortunately, but as it is, I think it looks good. The only thing is that some of these ferns don't look great from certain angles, so that is something to note, but I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks decent, and when you put them all together, I think it looks good. All right, so I have the 3 trees over in the city now, and no, this is not where they're going to stay, so don't worry. We are going to integrate them into this section right here, And so that stump right there, where the wall kind of bows out, that's where I want to place the big tree. And then the small one will probably go in this area, or maybe like over here, something like that. And so this was actually from Brick Sculpt. This was his design here. And so if you want to check out his video, I will put that in the top right, because his trees are really, really nice, but I just didn't have the parts to make one properly. And so this is like half of one, or I guess like a quarter, because it's half the height and it doesn't have any of the details on it. But I really like this idea, and we will be using this for the clone base, so definitely stay tuned for that. But this will not get used in the city, I don't think. And then this is on the right here, one of the designs from the A-frame cabin. Really like how that turned out. And then the one on the left is like a smaller spruce, kind of like a sapling almost. And it's simple, but I think it works and I quite like it. And so now that that is taken care of, we can go and we can place these into the city here. And so let me go ahead and start to remove a bunch of this stuff here, because I don't know how it's going to fit, to be totally honest with you. I guess we will find that out though. So let me get rid of a bunch of this stuff here, and then we can go ahead and we can add the trees, we can add the foliage on the ground, and then we can see how everything looks once it's in. All right, so I'm going in and I am placing the big tree right up against the wall here. I had this spot in mind for this tree, and so that is where I decided to put it. As for the other one though, I wasn't totally sure where I wanted to put it, and so I tried a couple different locations just to see what I liked versus what I didn't. And I ended up going with the spot right next to the fence there. I think that looks pretty good, and I think it also hides a little bit of the roots as well. And now I'm just going in and I'm filling in all of the foliage around the area here just to kind of fill it in. And I think this really, really looks really good, and I'm very happy with it. But before I show you guys the final product of everything back together here, I'm going to show you guys that Bricklink haul that just came in, and then we can see how everything looks in the city. All right, so here is that Bricklink order finally arrived, and so we are going to open it right now. First thing you'll notice is these 1x4x6 window frames or door frames. These are actually for the clone base. I have a pretty good idea for these, and these were pretty cheap, so I will hopefully be putting these to good use. And if you're not following the clone base and the build series for that, I highly recommend you do that, because most of these pieces, like these 2x4 green plates that you're seeing right now, these will also be used for that. And all of the pieces that are in bulk in this will pretty much go towards the base there and the landscaping for it. So here's some dark green 2x4s, and that is another one of the bulk things. This is not bulk, this is for the city. Actually, these clip pieces are for the railings for the train station, the footbridge going over the top, and then some more 2x4s, because I guess there was 2 bags for that because I ordered so many of them. But yeah, most of the pieces, like I said, are for the clone base, and then a handful of them are for the train station. These 2x3 dark tan plates are for that clone base. And if you guys aren't familiar with it, it is set on Endor, so there's going to be a lot of tree building and a lot of landscaping with both of these different corner plates here. And so that's really, really cool to see. I'm really excited to do it because I've never built trees that big before. We did just build trees today, but these pieces here are going to be going towards massive, massive trees. And so if you want to see giant redwood style trees, make sure to check out those videos. But this is the other end of that piece, and here's both of them together here. So you can connect them together, or you can connect different things to them. And so I'm going to use these for the footbridge, like I said, just to make a better railing, because the one that I have right now isn't that great. So I think I could do a little bit better than that. And so now up next here is one in gold, because the seller had it, and then a bunch of 1x2 plates in dark tan here. So that is good. Again, those are going towards that clone base. So not a lot of these are going to be going towards the city, but that is pretty much that. These dark brown slopes are also going to be going towards the clone base, because most of the landscaping in the city is pretty much done. And then so you'll see some black and gray studs with the bar on the top, and then those are just good to have as well. And so that's pretty much it. So now that the order is finally unboxed here, I'm really, really happy with this. And so this order has finally arrived, which is great. So now we can go ahead and I can show you guys the final product of how the area is looking with all of the trees and foliage in place. All right, so now that the bricklink hall is opened, we can go and check out the farm area. So this is the mountain. That's what we just worked on the other day here. And this is where the trees are right here. I ended up, like I said, putting the big one right next to the wall and then the small one next to that fence there. And I really, really like this. I think this looks really, really good. And let me take this one out of the way just so I can show you guys. This was here already. This is from the A-frame, or inspired by the ones in the A-frame cabin. This is pretty basic. It's just Technic axles and a couple of brown tail pieces, but I think it looks good. And actually, with all of this being done and the whole farm being done as well, this is the one grass stem that I have left. So I have to hopefully find some more on the pick-a-brick wall or buy some more of these. I do have a lot of the old ones. Let me see if I can find one right here. So you see how this one has a stem on the bottom, or a bar on the bottom, and this one has a stud. So I have a lot of these, but I don't want to have to switch over with just such a small area left. So I'll see what I can do about that. But to get to the point is the trees here. I think these look phenomenal. The one on the left is the big one, like I said, and then the one on the right is the small one. And I think these look really, really good. The branches are kind of heavy, and so they are sagging, but this one is intended to be at that angle there. So that is intentional because that one is actually resting on, it's connected to the angle of the trunk. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that might be a little bit of a better angle right there. So you can see the trunk comes up straight, and then there's an angle right there, and then it straightens out right at the top. And so I'm really happy with this. There's a lot of subtleties to this as well, like the different textures in the trunk with the 2x2 circular bricks, the textured pillar bricks in brown, and also the barrels in reddish brown, and then the dark brown barrels and plates right up near the angle of the tree right there that you can see, and then the dark green leaves underneath the regular green. And I really think that just helps tie it all together. And there's a lot more leaves on here than I had originally planned on using today, but I really do think that these look good. And then also the spruce tree right here, I think that looks good. And I went ahead and I made a second pine tree, or like a sapling tree as well. So now there's a couple of those dotted around, and I don't know if I want to keep this or if I want to just leave it there like I had it, but I think I'm going to leave it for the time being just to kind of fill in the space. And then eventually, if I make another one or two of these trees, I'll definitely put one there and then maybe one in the middle here. I'd have to see about that, but I am not sure yet because I don't have the pieces to be doing that. But overall, really, really happy with how this is looking. And also, if you guys are interested in making a certain type of area like this on your own, whether it's with base plates or with road plates or with anything else like that, I'm going to leave a couple affiliate links down in the description for the road plates, base plates, train track, and also the boutique hotel as well. They have that on Amazon for some reason, so I'll throw that link down there for you, and also the new Spider-Verse set. I will put that in the description as well, because if you want to make modular buildings and you don't have the space for the full-scale modular buildings, or if you just want to make a custom one or modify a set, that Spider-Verse set is a great way to do it. And with the Amazon affiliate links, you do not pay anything extra, but I will earn a small commission on any purchases using those links. And so it is not required, but I really appreciate you guys checking that out. And once again, I really, really enjoy these trees here. These are a long time coming, but I'm really happy with them, and I think they complement this area nicely, and they give the modulars, the roads, the train tracks even, and the whole area a nice backdrop, and it just really adds a nice pop of life to this area here, and so I couldn't be happier with it. And so once again, those links will be down in the description if you're interested in picking up base plates, road plates, or train track. Some of these items are actually on sale right now from Amazon. I know for a fact the base plates are, and also the straight track packs are as well. The road plates were just recently. I don't know if they still are, but that is something to note, that these items often go on sale on Amazon, and so that would mean the world to me if you guys use those links. It helps the independent channels like myself stay afloat and to help keep funding all of these, because these leaves are not cheap. Despite the fact that they are on the Peg-A-Brick wall, they do cost quite a bit when you add up just how many leaves are here. But seriously, thank you guys so much for that, and I really, really appreciate it. That is pretty much it from me. The video has been more of a bit of a vlog style, just kind of updating you guys on different things like the 2 hauls that came in and also the trees here. I've been wanting to add trees to this area for months and months now, and I'm so happy that we finally did it. And so on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on these trees or any of the orders that I got or anything else, if you want to see a tutorial on these trees, make sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think. But seriously, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.